Welcome, reading one. I don't know what your card is. I mean, I shuffled them. I know what cards are in here, but I don't know which one yours is. So here it is, reading one. I don't know how they're going to have me do the lights today, so bear with me. Maybe I'll come over here. They didn't even have me, they just had me like jump right in. Like they literally just like had me, like my little lantern. They just had me jump right in, so I'm here for it. And I'm feeling your energy, like a lot of anxious energy, which is probably why they had me jump right in. So we have the 6 of Winter, and also, I've been really good lately about having my glasses on before I do things. And so I'm hearing for some of you, you need to wear your glasses or carry them with you, even if it's readers. Stop trying to, I just pictured somebody in the grocery store trying to read the back of something and they're like, oh, my readers are in the car, they're at home. And nowadays you can get readers pretty inexpensively. So they're saying like, leave one in your purse at all times, or carry them in your pocket if you don't carry a purse or a bag, and for those of you are non-purse carrying people, because that can go any, which way. So for those of you, I heard from Spirit, maybe it's time to have like a little bag or a little fanny pack or something, maybe something, a strap that goes around your body, that you can carry things in, so you have them on you. Some people like to carry like their glasses around their neck, maybe you leave them in the car. That's why I think some people leave them on. I see them all the time when they're hanging from, the rear view mirror, right, on a chain. So they're like, wherever they go, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go in the store. I'm going to bring my glasses in. Because I'm just hearing, for some of you, you get headaches and it's just making it worse. Also, the purple color is really drawing me to lavender. And I can tell you from somebody who used lavender every day religiously, all throughout the day, but definitely at bedtime, behind the neck, on the temples. Really good, healthy. Make sure you know where it's coming from. Research it. There's so many. Mountain Rose Herbs is one of my favorites if you want to go for, like, if you like a big company, but anyway, research them. They're really good, but choose your own. Anyway, but just honestly, make sure that it's real and natural. But I'm hearing for some of you, like, you really need to slow down and calm down. And I finally got lavender back yesterday after like not having it every night for I don't know how long. And I'm not kidding you. My husband and I both were like, oh my gosh, he had started grinding his teeth again. And he's like, I don't know why I'm grinding my teeth. So last night we put lavender on both of us. And I woke up and I said, how are you feeling? How are your teeth feeling today? And because we've been doing on a scale of 1 to 10. He's like a 1. He's like, I'm there. I'm fine. He's like, I slept great. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. You know what I mean? Also, when he was having a tough time, he had cannabis. So if you can have cannabis, if it's legal where you live, have that before bed, anything natural or chamomile. But anyway, so without further ado, 6 of Winter, positive changes are on their way. A welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. So if you chose this card, something big is coming for you in all the ways good, in all the ways good. And I feel like I want to come in here a little bit closer. Oh yeah, in all the ways good. Let's see, Spirit. Are there any other messages that you want to convey about where they should set their intentions? Should we maybe pull another card? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So listen, this isn't for everybody, but it's for some of you. Do you remember this one from Spirit? Someday is not a day of the week. Thank you, Denise Brennan Nelson. Someday is not a day of the week. So maybe you've been thinking about traveling or relocating or somewhere where you want to go. Like, I mean, seriously, look at this. They're on their journey. They're on their way there. You just have to really, really, here, Spirit's saying just take one. I don't know why I'm yelling. I feel like I'm yelling at you. I'm so sorry. Sometimes when they're channeling, I'm just like, I'm a little close to the microphone. No, seriously, you guys, for real though. Okay. So I am literally envisioning, hold on, I'm getting the download. Yeah, for some of you, it's like you're excited because you're moving towards something, but for some of you, you're finally moving away from something. Because I have said this for years and I will continue saying it as long as Spirit, has me say it. But when you have had enough, you will stop. Addiction is a very interesting animal, right? I'm just going to take the words out for a minute just so you can see the the picture. The darkness and the demons want to tell us that we're not worth it, that we don't deserve it. And you know what's interesting? I know it says the 6 of winter, but it's as if the 6 didn't exist, and I literally saw the soul of winter. So you're in the heart of winter, some of you. Oh, I just got the chills. So, we have northern and southern hemisphere tribe. But for our winter tribe right now, you are in the thick of it. Some of you are in the thick of the darkness. And Spirit wants me to tell you that when Pisces season is over and Aries season and the new astrological year begins, you are going to see changes like you've never seen before. You guys, I have been seeing Aries for months. It was driving me crazy. I was like, what do you mean Aries? Like when I would ask about like when we're going to move into our house and, we were supposed to move in September 1st, here we are still in the RV and it's January 28th, in real time and, 2023. And I was just like, what the fuck? I can only handle so much. I am, I want to move on. I want to get out of here, and then I started to understand that Spirit was like, this is a gift. You have to see the gift of where you are so that you can like clear away the clouds and see where you're going. And Spirit is, see how like there's like a light ahead, a light in the darkness. See how the darkness is behind them? This is going to be you. And those positive changes, they are coming. And I'm hearing from Spirit, they don't like to give timelines. Spirit is very kind of anti-timeline. That's why you don't hear me say it very often. I move in the moon cycles in the present. And sometimes Spirit will say, yes, this is happening, or no, blah, blah, blah. Just because if someone's like, I'm the robot that keeps hitting the wall until somebody turns them around, right? They're like, I don't know which way to go. And then like, they get a reading or a message from Spirit, right? Wherever, or a sign. And then they turn around and they're like, oh, okay, I get it, right? I feel like you guys are the robot hitting the wall. But the positive changes are on their way, and it is going to happen in Aries season, sometime around Aries season. And for some of you, you may be in Aries, or because I'm feeling like a celebration, or it could be, like after troubled times, right? A welcome relief from troubled times. So like maybe you finally move out from like a bad situation and, you're like partying with friends and you're just like having a great time. Or maybe you have a dinner party with all the people you love in your new place. And you're like, look at me, I fucking did this, man. Like I did it. And Spirit's saying you just need to keep following the light. Because the thing that's making me sad for you guys is your light has been diminished. And for some of you, like you're living, it's interesting how they have me put my onyx, the dark energy, on this hand today so you can see it. But you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Instead of like just thinking that this is it and it's never going to get better, Spirit's like, see this little speckle of hope? Do you see it? I know I don't have the best lighting, right? But do you see that? That's what they want you to look at. And that little speckle of light is you. You're still in there. You didn't go anywhere. You may feel like you're here, right? It's so dark. You can't see anything. You're like, Spirit, why, right? Why hast thou forsaken me, right? We're in like all biblical shit, right? We're just like, but at the same time, Spirit's like, no, my child, I have not forsaken you. You can come out of that darkness anytime you want. When you're ready to come out of the darkness, when you're tired of listening to the same bullshit, when you're exhausted from, hearing the same thing over and over, you have two choices: sink or swim. You can sink back down into the darkness where you think it's comfortable, or you can break out of it and say, you know what, I'm ready. I want to see the light again. It always reminds me of my favorite movie, It's a Wonderful Life, at the end, when he's like, I want to live again. I want to live again. And he's like, please, God, let me live again. Right? That moment that tears your heart out and you're like, yes, that's why Jimmy Stewart was like the icon, and why they called Tom Hanks the Jimmy Stewart of our generation. Right? It's like that kind of acting that gets to your core, that, that energy, that it's like when you get to that energy and it's not acting, it's fucking real. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. You will find a way, and the light will be there, and Spirit is waiting for you. But they're saying someday is not a day of the week. You know, if you look at the planets and astrology and how things are constantly moving in one way or another, that retrograde, that planet, that sun, that moon, that day, that night, that light, that dark, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's like it'll just keep cycling over and over and over. But the someday to me is the lost dream. And I feel like you guys are so powerful and beautiful, and you have so much to give. So much to give. And I feel like this fairy over here, like she's like her, you know, like she's sitting around the fire because she's just trying to find some warmth. But look, her feet are almost in the fire. And if she puts her feet in the fire, she's going to get burned. And it's like, I feel like for some of you, you just keep putting your feet back in the fire. Whatever situation it is, it's going to be different for all of you. I feel a lot of different things. When I feel so much, I shut it down because it's like it's an overload. All I can tell you is what I feel. And that I know that it's time for you guys to move on. And you will come out of that. You will come out of that winter energy. And your homework is to research the number 6. You could even research in tarot, because this is the fairy tarot, right? So you can research the 6 of winter in the tarot. I can't remember what I want to say it's like Biddy Tarot or Benny Tarot. I want to say it's Biddy. I'm almost positive it's biddytarot.com. But research however you want to do it. But they used to have the best explanations of, they really, really love the tarot, you know, like the whole, like the beginning of it and what they mean. And now over time, I feel like the cards have gotten so much more descriptive, and we have all different decks from different, you know, fairies, dragons, you know, whatever. It's everyone's, you know, look at the tarot, you know. But also I want you to research the 6 of winter so you can know what sign that is. There's a lot there. I could tell you, I've got my notes right here. I was about to grab my book and they said, no, because it's time for you guys to really start there. I get the vibe that you either are a light worker and you do that for a living, or it's something you wanted to do for a living. And Spirit is saying, yes, like this is your green light, go. Like it's time, because someday is not a day of the week. If you keep, and then it's going to the Denise. So I feel like that may mean something to some of you guys. Maybe it's your name, or it's somebody you know, or maybe it's somebody that you're going to meet named Denise or something like it, or Dennis. It could be something in that. I also saw Desiree when I looked at it. So you know what I mean? You know how sometimes you'll see something, but your eyes see something else. But there's, you know, for some of you, traveling and relocating may be something you need to do. And let me tell you something. I took one of my dream jobs, and it was so far away from where I lived, and I had to commute by bus. And it was not fun because the hours that I worked, by the time I got off work, they weren't running as frequently. And I had to take 2 different buses to get home. There was no other way for me to do it because I had to go really far in one direction and really far in the other direction. So long story short, it would take me between an hour and a half and 2 hours to get to my job every day. I worked 5 days a week. But I loved my job. And for the first 6 months, that's why I'm telling you that. They had me share this with you. For the first 6 months, and it was hell. And trust me, there were days where I'm like, fuck this. And some days when I had money, even though I was saving to get my own place, you know, because I lived like in a situation in a neighborhood that was not nice. It was not what I wanted to do or where I wanted to live. The energy sucked, but I did what I had to do. But Spirit put me in a beautiful pocket that was, you know, semi-safe. But I remember waiting for the bus, and there were like needles like on the ground, like no shit. Like there was a known drug dealer, like famous drug dealer, that lived in this trailer park behind the bus stop that I used to go to. It was crazy. But I did it. And you know what? After that, I worked there for another year. And that year that I worked there not only got me into the neighborhood that I wanted to live in, but I could walk 10 minutes to work. So I suffered for 6 months, but that year was awesome. And I got to stay in that neighborhood. Even after the job was gone and whatever, I got to live in that neighborhood and see all different seasons and walk to my favorite trails and be in the city. It was awesome. I was living in Portland, in the Northwest neighborhood, if you know Portland. And, my job was at the corner or near 23rd and Lovejoy, and I loved it. So sometimes, if you love it, you will find a way. And it's not perfect. And you know what I started doing? Instead of like getting ready or whatever, because I'd have to do the bus, like for those of you who do makeup, I did my makeup on the bus. I got really good at it too. And I mean, you get people looking at you, whatever, but most people on the bus don't give a fuck what you're doing. You know what I mean? They get it. They understand. They're commuting by bus too, right? Or train or whatever modality you take. Same thing when I lived in Chicago. It's like I had to take, the L, and for those of you in like New York, like the subway, wherever, the tube, wherever, when I was in France and Paris, it's like you take London, wherever you are, it's like, but it helps. It helps you to do that. Also, I had like this routine down packed where I made it easier for myself. The beginning was hard until I found a routine, until I found certain buses and an alternative route, and like, certain friends or people that if I could be like, hey, if I make it this far, can you come pick me up? You know what I mean? And drive me to work. I don't feel like waiting for the second bus, or I miss my bus. I just started to put things into play, and I found ways to, find something near bus stops. Maybe not the bus stop by my work, but a place where I can maybe go. Like if I had to wait 45 minutes for the next bus, yeah, it sucked, but then I would like, have a little coffee shop or somewhere where I'd go and have a little tea, or have, you know what I mean? So there's just ways to do it. So if you give yourself excuses, you'll keep giving yourself excuses, but if you find a way to do it, I promise you, you will. And it changed everything for me. It made me who I am today, literally. I knew I was meant to be at that job. I knew with every fiber of my being I was meant to be at that job. And I was working at that job as the head wardrobe stylist, right? And I was like my human Barbies. I loved that job. But we also did women's groups at night, and I ended up meeting this beautiful shaman witch who helped me wake up to my gifts. And that job and her opened me up to a whole new community of people that helped me literally become who I am today. So you just never know who you're going to meet, what's going to happen. I didn't know anybody. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like nobody in that neighborhood. All my friends we lived in the southeast of Portland, but I was just so drawn to the northwest neighborhood, and I wanted to be able to like hike in the hills and stuff. So, if you really want to live somewhere, go live there. Find a way. Also, when I first started, they wanted me to bring this up. When I first started, I didn't know anyone in Portland, not a soul. I didn't have a job, nothing. I had $1,200 to my name. Okay. And after I secured my first month's rent, but I found these people. It was kind of like a hostel situation, and not a hostel situation, but like, like a hostel stay-in situation, not a hostel mean situation. And it was a great situation. I mean, when I got there, it wasn't whatever. I didn't stay there very long, but like I had somewhere to go. I even shipped some of my stuff there, which was really nice. And I had paid for the first month. And then I didn't like it, and I didn't like the neighborhood I was in. But then I would just venture out every day on foot, on the train. I'd buy a $5 pass for all day. I can go anywhere on any public transportation. And I was just like hounding, looking for a job, looking for roommates. And within a month that I was there, I had an awesome roommate. I had two new best friends, sisters. They were like, seriously, like we were all, the whole building that I lived in, it's like we all knew each other from another life. It was amazing. It was just like at that perfect time, at that perfect place. We were all different ages, from 23 to, I think I was the oldest, and I was 39 at the time. It was just a really cool gift. You just don't know what's going to happen. And now here I am. I'm going on almost 12 years. And from that, I moved up to the Olympic Peninsula, where like, almost 8 years ago, I came up here with my now husband when we were dating, and I found this magical place, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this place? And I've like spent all those years studying the peninsula, traveling, camping, meeting people, and we finally landed on the north side of the peninsula. That's where Spirit wants us to be right now. So, it's like you just never know where your path is going to take you. I went from Portland, Oregon, and now in over 11 years, I'm on the north side of the peninsula, and I'm living my dream, and I'm in a rent to buy situation. Was it a hard fucking 11, 12 years? Yeah. But I wouldn't change it. I mean, I've become who I was like when I was a child, before all the good was beaten out of me from every person, metaphorically, emotionally, physically, on every level. So it's time to come out of that darkness. I've been where you are. My throat chakra, I feel like I'm being choked. So work with the lavender healing energy and speak your truth. Say it out loud. Say it to a friend. Maybe you've been wanting to leave a job you've been at for years. Maybe it's a relationship that is ended and you have to move on. Maybe it's family or friends that they're just not right for you. They're negative. They don't bring you any joy. They only bring you sorrow. You were the first reading. I was going to pull all the cards down, and the fairy said no. They wanted to support you. They wanted you to see how many of them have your back, right? Like, look at how many of them, they have your back. You are not alone. I have your back. If you're new here, just know, like, this tribe supports you. We love you. Let your freak flag fly. Be whoever you are. That has been my mantra forever. You are welcome, witches, healers, and deep down believers. Get out of that darkness. And those who don't love you don't love themselves. That is seriously so true. Love yourself. You deserve better. You deserve more. And you are welcome here. And I'm going to leave that there. I was wondering if we were going to pull another card, but I think you know what to do. It's individual for all of you. And also, whatever like hit your stomach, your intuition, your gut, like when you're hearing any of these messages, if a person came up, a situation came up, that is literally your subconscious and your higher self saying, please, yes, this is what we need to do to move on. This is where we need to set our intention to move towards or move away from. Because my beautiful, beautiful reading one pile. Reading card, the 6 of winter. Come out, wherever you are, and meet the fine lady who fell from a star. Bum, ba-dum, bum, right? I love you guys so much. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. Blessed be. Oh.